Welcome to the 196th episode of the So Video Games podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we'll be talking about it. Today we are recording on September 6th, 2020. My name is Brad Galloway. I am the editor of GameCritics.com, and I am 50% of this here show. With me is the guy who's a little bit sweet, a little bit sour, Carlos Rodella.
Okay, what do I do that one?
I had some Chinese earlier, that's all I could come up with. Sorry.
Oh, I get it. I mean,
I was doing a little
guess,
menu riff. There actually was no connection to you, it was just funny.
Okay, well, I do like sweet and sour chicken, and I guess I am sweet and sour. You know, I'm more sweet than sour. I very rarely sour.
You know, I messed that up. I should have said a lot of sweet and just a little bit of sour. That would be more appropriate.
Better. Yeah, let's go with that.
I should have fixed. Sorry. We'll go back and re-record that later. We'll fix it in post.
We will not fix anything. We're not editing any of this.
You know, interesting story. I was out with some friends one time, and we were with some people. So some people were people that I knew really well, and some people were like friends of friends that I didn't really know that well. And we were going out to Chinese that night, long time ago, long before coronavirus, when you weren't scared to go out in a crowd. And we all went to this Chinese restaurant, and one of the people at our table wanted to order, I swear to God, wanted to order sweet and sour chicken, but only sweet, no sour. And they told that to the waiter with a straight face. Everybody at the table completely cracked up. The waiter didn't do anything. To their credit, did not even act like anything was wrong. They were just like, okay. And just like took the order and like went off. But we all looked at that person like, have you been to a Chinese restaurant before? Do you realize, Anyway.
Wait, but what did he give them? Just like, he probably just gave them sweet and sour chicken.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was sweet and sour chicken. I mean, maybe he put in a couple extra spoonfuls of sugar or something. Who knows? But, I mean, it was indistinguishable from regular sweet and sour chicken. Which, to be perfectly fair, is not really sour. It's, like, mostly sweet.
It's mostly sweet. I'm like, how much more sweet does she need?
I mean, people are people, I don't know. So, anyway. All right, we are not here to talk about Chinese cuisine, delicious as it is. No. We are here to talk about games. We're about to do just that. We got a whole full show for you tonight, folks. All sorts of cool stuff to talk about. But before we do that, Carlos, I believe you got a little bit of housekeeping to kick off the show.
Just one thing I want to mention. I mentioned this on a couple episodes ago, I believe, that I was frustrated that Fortnite commercial where they used 1984.
1980 Fortnite.
1980 Fortnite. I was very angry. I had all sorts of vitriol because I thought that it's a bad timing to use that because we're actually living through a version of 1984 right now, and to use it for something so silly, in my opinion. Yes, I know it affects a lot of people and it's a money thing, but they could be using that for something bigger in this moment that we're at with the democracy itself. Yeah. And so I saw on YouTube, Ridley Scott agrees with me.
Ridley Scott weighed in on Fortnite?
Yeah, he worked on that commercial, and he was like, yeah, I saw
the original back in the day? The original commercial?
The original Mac PC one. And he goes, yeah, I saw what they did. And he goes, kind of a shame, though, don't you think? He's like, they could have used it for, I don't know, like about democracy and what we're going through. So Ridley Scott agrees with me. There you go.
Interesting. Boy, they got dissed by Ridley Scott. That's a pretty hardcore diss. Hard to ignore that one. But it's interesting.
And me.
Well, yes, and you. And you.
Okay.
And you. That's really where the weight of this criticism comes from, is from Carlos. Interesting you bring up Fortnite, though. Just a really quick note. Have you seen the latest season of Fortnite? You must have seen it.
I don't really keep up to date with it, so you'll have to tell me.
Oh my God, it's like all over. They totally went all in on the Marvel Universe. So they have tons of like new characters. There's like Wolverine and She-Hulk.
Oh right, I've seen this.
Storm. Yeah. And they have new implementations of superhero powers that you can actually do in the middle of a match. All sorts of cool gear and stuff. Like, I was out of Fortnite last season. I used to have a friend that I played with really regularly, kind of dropped off. And then I played with my son once in a while, but he had kind of like dropped off of it as well. So I'm like, well, maybe I'm done. I didn't even finish the season last season. I kind of got bored halfway through and just kind of quit, moved on to other things. And I was just about to delete it off of my console because I figured we were like, as a family, kind of done with it. But then the new season dropped and I'm like, wait, I got to get back in. So I'm totally back in. It's ridiculous. I'm like collecting all the stuff, getting all the Marvel gear. I'm not gonna let this thing with them and Epic really bother me too much because that's really like above my pay grade. But I gotta say, the people who are working on the new Fortnite season, like, man, they did a killer job. There's some really fun shit in there. It's pretty cool.
It's really weird to see that crossover right now because I'm playing Avengers, which is we'll talk about later in the show, and it is a persistent world going to have seasons and all that stuff. And there are tons of unlockables there. So it's like 2 different places to get Marvel stuff now. But I will say the only weird thing about the Fortnite is I heard someone say something about it now Fortnite is Marvel canon.
Yes, it is. They're actually, it's funny you bring that up because there was a comic book, a digital comic book at the beginning of the season, and I think you can even go back and read it again if you want to. But when you start the new season, it's a story about like Thor somehow like losing his memory or something, and he goes through like a dimensional rift and ends up in Fortnite land, and then all of like these other heroes come to help him out, and Galactus is coming to like eat the Fortnite world, and so they got to get the heroes together to defend it from Galactus. I mean, I'm probably gonna be ready for this. It's going to be this giant thing at the end of the season. I'm sure Galactus is going to show up. There's going to be a big battle. It's going to be fucking epic. I mean, if you're into the Marvel stuff, it's a pretty cool way to get some Marvel stuff. And I haven't played Avengers yet, but I'm actually really happy with what they've done with Fortnite. It's pretty bananas. Pretty bananas. They hooked me back in when I thought I was done.
You know what? Good for you and your family, and more power to you. Have some fun. I'm on the outs with this. I don't like the idea that it's canon. It's the Marvel universe. It's already been Disneyfied enough. I don't know. Wow. Speaking of that, by the way, and I was going to bring this up later in the episode, but right now it feels like I just mentioned Disney and Marvel. Miss Marvel is going to be on Disney. The show.
The TV show? Yeah, I heard about that. I'm really looking forward to that. Kamala Khan, right?
Yeah, Kamala Khan, which we'll talk about, and she's in the Avengers game. But I like that idea, so I'm interested in that. So, I don't know, whatever. I guess it's great.
It's, I mean, there's a lot of, if you really want to, blow your mind, I mean, if you go into the history of Marvel Comics, there's all sorts of weird stuff that happens. There's all sorts of stuff that is technically canon, but we all kind of, like, conveniently ignore, or we, like, quote-unquote forget about it, and things go on. So, I mean, this is hardly the weirdest thing they've ever done. It's hardly the strangest, and I mean, honestly, it's a pretty good implementation, so I don't really feel like it's even that embarrassing. But
on top of that, you're right, because like there was Bizarro World, right? There was Mr. Mythoplex.
Those are DC. You get your streams crossed.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. Way to out yourself, noob. Books. Oh, shit.
Also, I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Here comes the hate mail.
Yeah, if there's hate mail for that, there's more important things. But no, what are some, Secret Wars? They had, like, the Beyonder, I always talk about, would just change everything up, and there's tons of weird things.
All sorts of bizarro stuff. They retcon stuff all the time. They erase stuff. It's totally no big deal.
Ridley Scott agrees with me.
And that's a pretty big person to agree with you. I appreciate that. So
okay.
I have no housekeeping. Anything else on your agenda, sir? All right, cool. Let's get to it because we've actually got a full load of games tonight. Not wasting any time. Carlos, let's go back to you for a moment here. A couple of quick updates from you. You want to let us know how Wasteland 3 is going, and I'm going to ask you about Descenders in a minute, but let's start with Wasteland 3. Remind us, you're playing on PS4?
Yep, PS4, and if you don't remember, it's the XCOM meets Fallout game. That's a good way to explain it.
Exactly. So top, like, isometric, turn-based, right? Turn-based?
Yep, turn-based, post-apocalyptic.
Turn-based tactics. Gather a party, kind of like a top-down Fallout sort of thing-ish, right?
Yep, and it's very similar to Wasteland 2. If you played that, it's pretty much the same. They added things, graphics are a bit better, and they've kind of updated some systems. But yeah, it's really great. And I wanted to mention that what I didn't mention last time we talked about it is there's some pretty great comedy in it as well. Like there's a lot of really funny items you'll find. It reminds me of like the dark comedy in Fallout. And obviously in Wasteland, because Wasteland's been a series for a long time, and even in that early version of the game, the one you played on DOS or whatever, they had that too. They had the comedy mixed with really dark post-apocalyptic world. So I just want to put a shout out there that this game isn't just this dark, seedy XCOM game. It's got a lot of really funny moments in it. Like one point I was just chasing down a clone, and I found his lab, and there was a bunch of clones of himself in there. And I had to fight all the clones. There's lots of weird little things hidden and just really funny dialogue. Right now I have, by the way, a hobo that just joined my party. And it's amazing because he was drunk in the mess hall, and he was just kind of at our base. And I started talking to him longer than just like, oh, he's just a hobo. I was like, I want to know this guy's story. And so he's like, yeah, I'm drunk. I'd like to drink. But guess what? I want to join your team. And I was like... Fuck yeah, dude. So he's really good at melee and a shotgun, and he's on my team now.
Did he sober up first, or is he still drunk?
No, he still drinks.
Yeah. Does he, like, every once in a while, like, accidentally shoot a member of your party or something?
No, but he talks pretty funny, and because remember, a lot of these characters can have dialogue during scenes and stuff, so it's just fun to have him along. It's really great. I just wanted to mention that this game is not just about dark and crazy post-apocalyptic. It's really really good and funny and weird. There's a couple other weird things. One, we finally met this really interesting cult that one of the leaders is a Ronald Reagan statue.
Is it like just a statue, or does it talk?
It's like an animatronic statue.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And by the way, I blew that shit up. Spoiler. As soon as
it's no longer there.
Yeah. As soon as I found like the little doohickeys that were like, this could probably blow that up, I was like, oh, we're doing that now. But really cool. Like they had a version of him, like Ronald Reagan, in like the room, and it looked like Max Headroom. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, they're just really going like all the extra yards here to make this like interesting world that's like not just like a one note thing, So yeah, I mean, everybody check it out. I really really like it. I'm playing that alongside Avengers, and those are my main games right now. Like it's just, I know that I'm gonna love a game when I like mainlining it. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, I need to see what the end of this thing is.
I mean, it sounds really good. I want to get into it because Fallout New Vegas is one of my favorite games of all time, and I kind of like the Fallout series in general. Even though the last one didn't really do it for me, but I'm up for that sort of thing, like post-apocalyptic, lots of choices, lots of dialogue. And, I mean, New Vegas is actually really, really funny in a lot of places. I think the comedy kind of comes and goes with the other installments, but I mean, kind of what you're describing sounds like it's right up my alley.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you 3 more things, and all of those things are going to get you even more into it.
All right.
If I didn't already.
I mean, I'm already like 3/4 in right now, just heads up.
So. I know. I'll probably put you all the way in here with this.
All right.
Well, it's really only a couple things. It's just that one of the main storylines is you're working for this guy who calls himself the Patriarch. Obviously, that sounds bad already.
You're going to have to overthrow that guy.
Right? And he's like obviously saying, well, maybe not obviously, but he's saying like, no, I'm cool, and you need to help me, and you should do all these things so I can help you. And immediately I'm like, my ears are up, the hair's up on my arms. I'm like, no, this guy's probably bad news. Turns out, spoiler, early on you're going to find out that this guy isn't like...
Did the patriarchy turn out to be bad after all?
Right, there you go.
Saw that one coming
a mile away. And then also, there's a bunch of refugees that show up in the town, like one of the main towns, and I immediately sided with them because everyone's like, get these motherfuckers out of here. It felt very political at times, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to side with these motherfuckers. So just similar to a lot of other games like Greedfall and games where you can like align yourself with factions, I'm of course aligned with all the revolutionaries, the people who want change, and anybody who's like in some sort of religious cult or the Patriarch. All of them hate me already, like immediately. And so I'm winning all the points with the refugees and like the people who are the struggling people. So struggling.
Doesn't sound like a bad place to be, kind of reflecting our modern times, actually.
I know. So that's another reason why it's really I'm into playing it, because I'm like, I feel like I can have a say in this.
But didn't you know, Carlos, games are not political. There's no politics in games. Come on.
Well, there's real life in games, it seems like.
I, of course, do not believe that. I think every game is political if you really want to get down to it. So that sounds like a great bit of content there. Yep. I love it when developers reflect what's going on and kind of, it's a really good way to kind of teach people lessons. Not that, not like educational, like morals or anything, but when you play through a game, it can often open your eyes up to something that maybe you haven't experienced in your own life, or maybe gives you a different perspective that you don't have yourself, or it just kind of opens up your mind a little bit to the way things could be if you were in someone else's shoes. Of course, from a distance, But I think it's really interesting that they do that. So I'm really glad to hear that Wasteland, I haven't played it yet, but from what you're describing, it sounds like they definitely are taking some modern hot topics and kind of, slapping some gameplay on those and letting people discover for themselves maybe what they think about those issues.
Yeah, especially because they use Ronald Reagan. I thought that was really interesting. And yeah, I don't want to explore it too more. I'm just saying there's a lot of really interesting content in here. Some of it's funny, some of it's like really real, and it's great. It's a great game.
All right, excellent. One more update from you before we move on. You talked about Descenders last time. It's the behind the back BMX downhill roguelike. Just came out from, I think No More Robots is the publisher of that.
Yep.
It's been out for a while on PC and Xbox, but they just came out on, I think, Switch and PS4. You seemed to really be having a good time with it last episode, and now that you're updating, are you continuing to have fun with Descenders, or has things gone sour? Has your tire gone flat, perhaps?
Oh, nice. No, my tires are still going. Got those strong tires, full of air. If anything, I wanted to tell you a couple other cool things about the game that I forgot to mention last time. Which one, the music is so relaxing. It's electronica type music. It kind of goes with that. I want to just chill out for a minute and play something, not really think too much, just relax, and also, try some challenges. If shit goes sideways and I crash, that's okay. But the music is just really good. And you can change the tracks at any time. I just forgot to mention that because I really enjoy all those tracks. Again, kind of electronic style, but very, very good. And then also there's a bunch of mini challenges where you can do basically they're don't slow down the whole race, which is really just adds a whole other element to this one track that you were nailing. You're like, oh, I know this track really well, but wait, I can't stop it all. Now it changes it. So I like those a lot. And also there's little races where you can only see from your bike cam.
Like a first person?
Like a first person. I was like, wait, what?
No thanks. No thanks.
I know.
I think I tried that before. It's nauseating.
What they do, though, it might not work for everybody. What they do, though, is it's a limited track. So they know it's not the whole thing. You're not doing jumps and stuff. It's just race and avoid obstacles, So I really like that because it switched it up a little bit here and there. And then the last thing that I didn't mention, there's off-road racing, which is essentially chaos. Because you're going down a hill at probably the fastest speed the game does.
Isn't the whole thing off-road racing, though?
No, that's on a track. That's on a dirt track.
Like a dirt track. So you're saying you take your bike off the track and you're
there's
going down through the woods and the trees and stuff? Okay.
And you're like, oh, I'm going to die every time. This is tough. And it really is exciting. I mean, you can brake a little bit, but if you just let it go, that's the fastest you'll go in the game. It's downhill into chaos, making jumps. And when you make it through it, you feel like a champion. So this game is fucking great. It's so relaxing. I still wish the developer would listen to the last episode or this one and change it when you're in the lobby. All I want you to do is respawn where you crashed. Don't respawn.
That's right, the time-saving thing in the lobby. You mentioned that. You don't have to drive around the lobby. Makes sense.
Respawns you to the main lobby, and I'm like, just respawn me where I crashed. Besides that, it's a fucking great game.
Excellent. All right, sounds like two big wins. Wasteland 3 and Descenders, having a good time with both. I've played Descenders, I gotta come back to it, but Wasteland 3 I'm getting the itch for. I'm not quite there yet. I haven't quite pulled the trigger, but I'm getting close. I think that maybe once my calendar settles down for the rest of the year, once I get a good feel for what I'm going to be reviewing between now and December, I think if there's a slot that opens up, I may plug Wasteland 3 into it, so we'll see. All right, switching over to me for just a couple of seconds. First, I want to give an update, since we're doing updates, to Nioh 2. I haven't talked about it for a couple episodes, but I finally finished the main campaign. Been playing it for, I think, the last 3 months, and it is a massive game. There's a lot of content in that game. And to be fair, though, I did get to the point where I was only doing, maybe 1 or 2 missions a day, so I didn't want to burn myself out, because I knew it was, a marathon, not a sprint, right? And I didn't want to, get too tired before the finish line, so I slowed myself down. I would only do 1-2 missions a day. So that, of course, took a lot longer to get through. But I did finish the game. That was great. And I still love that game. As soon as I finished it, I started the DLC. It's called The Tengu's Disciple. It is one of 3 planned DLCs. The DLC is really substantial. It's a whole new area, a bunch of new missions, some side missions, a brand new weapon, a bunch of new armor, a whole bunch of new stuff that got added to the game. All sorts of content there. But I went through the DLC, finished the game, literally did every single mission in the entire game, did everything that I could do, almost. And I think I'm well over 100 hours in that game now. But I'm actually still playing it, believe it or not. My wife is going through Nioh 2, and so I'm jumping in to help her out with some of her missions. I'm also being one of the randos that you can summon when you need help in a mission. I'll just jump on, and whoever needs some help, I'll just jump in on with a boss, or maybe I'll help him through a tough spot in a level just for fun.
Oh, nice
still leveling up. Yeah, I just really enjoy playing that game. I think the mechanics are really dialed in. I think it's really fun. I love the weapons, and just the systems are good. It just feels really good to play from a mechanical perspective. And every time I do something, I feel like I learn a little bit more. All the weapons are basically their own thing. So I got really good with the axe, and then I got really good with the Odachi, and then I got really good with the Kusarigama, and then I got really good with the Tonfa, and now I'm on to just the regular sword. And every time you do a new weapon, there's always like all these nuances. There's like 3 different ways to wield it and all different ways to customize it. And so I'm constantly like tweaking my build and learning the new moves and stuff. I mean, it's the game that keeps on giving, dude. I love that game so much. It's really, really good. Did everything and still playing it, which is not something I can say very often. And before I get off of Nioh 2, want to give a quick shout out to PSN player Wax Electric 856. When I was up against one of the toughest bosses in the game, I was desperate for somebody to come help me, and like nobody was online. I needed like one more real person to help because it was just too much for me to handle by myself. And so I was trying to summon people in my game. Seemed like nobody was on. I was dying and dying. I just got really frustrated. I was like, this sucks. I got to find somebody who can help me out. And I just kept throwing myself at that boss, dying over and over and over. But I left my summon on just in the hopes that somebody would show up. And I don't exactly know what happened because it's not really the way it's supposed to work, but he must have gotten summoned like right as I was going into the boss room, because usually they don't let you do that. Like usually you have to summon somebody before you start fighting the boss. But there must have been a glitch or something happened, because I was in the boss battle fighting the boss, getting my butt handed to me, and then out of nowhere, PSN player Wax Electric pops into my game, totally starts whooping up on the boss, giving me like a chance to breathe and to heal for a second. And I'm like, nice. Oh my god, where'd this dude come from? Holy shit. And he was like totally keeping it down, keeping that boss occupied. I got myself back on my feet, started attacking him, from the side, and then we like double teamed him, got him knocked out, and I got past that boss. Fucking amazing that happened. I don't even know how that happened. It wasn't supposed to happen, but it did happen, and it was like the best fucking victory ever. So shout out to Wax Electric 856. I have no idea who you are. You probably don't listen to this podcast. I don't know if you're even on Twitter or whatever, but whoever you are,
maybe it's an angel. Maybe Wax Electric wasn't supposed to get in there because regular humans couldn't, but maybe angels could. It
was a gift from God that I got past it. It's possible, because I don't know any other explanation for that to happen, but it did happen. So anyway, if he's an angel, well then, I mean, I'll say a prayer for Wax Electric tonight. Otherwise, if it's some random person on PSN, thank you very much. If you know Wax Electric 856, please give him a thanks from me. Love that game very much. That was an awesome battle. Nioh 2 is the shit, and I cannot wait for the next DLC. I love that game.
Is an angel like just on a cloud somewhere going like, what? Someone say my name? Oh, yeah.
Someone in an Earthrealm is thanking me.
Yeah, no, he was like, no, I remember I helped him with that Nioh boss. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was a boss. That was a tough boss. Yeah, that was good. Also, quick shout out to a new Switch game that I'm kind of chipping away at. It's called One Line Coloring. It is a really chill puzzle game where it looks like a connect the dots picture. There's a whole bunch of these connect the dots puzzles that you can have, and once you start the first couple levels, you're like, oh my god, this is so easy. This is not even a game. What is going on? Where you just connect the dots, the picture fills in, and then you're done, and you get to look at a pretty picture. It's an apple, it's a squirrel, it's a tree. But then once you get a couple of those in, they start layering more elements, and the part that I'm at now, they have a lot of one-way arrows on the line, and you cannot cross the line. So eventually what it ends up being is you have to pick a point, whatever point you want to pick, and then you have to figure out, can I connect all these dots without crossing my line and only going in a certain direction, and at the same time hitting all the dots. So like it gets really tough. It's not like there's no time limit, there's no death or anything, and you can like rewind and go back if you make a mistake, but it still requires actually a lot more forethought and planning than you might think. So I've actually been enjoying it a lot. I've been doing 1 or 2 puzzles a night when I'm not doing P-Cross or something like that, and I think it's pretty good. It's just real easy, real chill, very simple to understand, and yet still complicated to master, because you really got to think ahead and about, well, if I cross this line here, that means I can't cross this line here, and if I go back to this dot, then this dot over here doesn't get crossed off, and so you got to just think it through. But it's pretty good. I really like it. It's not something I would have probably picked up on my own, but the publisher did send me a code to discuss on this podcast, and which I'm doing right now, full disclosure. But it's really good. I do recommend it. I think it's really nice, and if you want an alternative puzzle selection for when you're chilling on the couch, when you're in bed, you want to just play something that's not brain dead, but it's also not high energy, I think One Line Coloring is pretty good. I think it's also pretty cheap as well.
It is, and I saw it on the store, and I think the reason because I like that style of puzzle that you're talking about, and it really makes you think, and it kind of turns your brain into a different switch or different mode,
Yeah.
But I didn't like the pictures didn't like excite me. I think I was like, well, I'm just drawing those things, like.
It looks a little like simple, right? It looks really, really simple from the screenshots and stuff. Yeah, for sure. But there's a lot more to it that you do not realize from just the screenshots.
Although I'm gonna just take that back anyhow, because I remember I played a Picross game, Picross, whatever.
Yeah.
And it had I mean I didn't give two shits about what the pictures were. You know what I mean? Like it was like, oh, you made an apple. I'm like, cool, I don't care, but this is a really fun way to get there. You know?
Well, I mean, you're exactly right, dude. Because you look at these Picross pictures and it's like, oh, so what? It's just like. Like you said, an apple or a squirrel or something. Who cares? But the fun of it is like in solving the puzzle, right? So it doesn't matter what you end up with. Mm-hmm. It's like it's not the destination; it's the journey. Carlos.
It's the journey. So there you go.
All right, that is one line coloring for the Nintendo Switch. I give that a thumbs up recommendation. Carlos, let's kick it back to you, sir. You are playing Tony Hawk 1/2. They did a remake, remaster, re-release, something like that. People haven't been thinking about Tony Hawk for a while, but now it seems like all the Tony Hawk fans from back in the day are on fire. I've been hearing nothing but good things about this. Tony Hawk, never my jam, full disclosure. Never really liked it that much, just because I'm just not that person. But a lot of people in my feed are really going nuts over it. Are you digging it right now?
Yeah, and by the way, a lot of people like me and some listeners of the show have been thinking about Tony Hawk ever since it went away. So
just quietly.
Yeah, because I've been hemming and hawing and wanting it so bad, like a new version. And Tony Hawk 5 was, not good. It was just weird, and it had that slam thing, and I just didn't like it. And so after Tony Hawk 5, I went to the Skater series or Skate series, Skater XL, Session, all the different ones I've been trying where they're more realistic, and I still like those as well. So I'm still going to play the new versions of all those more realistic ones, but there's a special place in my heart for Tony Hawk, especially 2. And I think Tony Hawk 2 is number 2 or 3 of like the best rated games of all time, something like that.
On PS2 or just like in general?
I think in general, like Tony Hawk 2.
Really? I'll have to look that up. That's a pretty impressive stat.
Yeah, I might be wrong. I saw it somewhere.
You might be making that up?
No, I'm not making it up. I saw it somewhere, but they might be wrong. So I'm not wrong. I know
I would
I
know.
heard something. That's how it works, but if you hear something and they're wrong, you're still right.
That's correct. You're just quoting something that ended up being incorrect, but it's not your fault.
It's not my fault.
I gotcha.
Here's the thing. They did an amazing job. It is I think it is a remaster because it's essentially all new engine graphics, but using all the old locations and all those same
so like
places.
a remake then, because a remaster would be the original graphics just cleaned up, but you're saying these are brand new graphics?
Okay, so it is a remake then, yes. Like Final Fantasy VII was a remake.
Remake, yeah. Okay, so remake, but same content, but like what? New models, new character models, new something?
Yeah, and the engine is new, but it modeled after the old engine.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so a remake then, got it.
Yeah, they took this thing apart, right? But here's the thing, it feels like the first 2 games. I mean, it's excellent. It's so good at what it does. I realize, though, I am obviously not as good as I used to be, even though some things are muscle memory and they came right back to me, like kickflips and grinds and manuals and doing these pretty long chains, and I was, doing pretty good. But certain things, like while I was up in the air and jumping over gaps, and certain things I was just bad at all of a sudden. I was like, I used to destroy at this game, So that's just on me. I got to, get good, as they say.
But, dude, I mean, yeah, that game is really Twitch heavy. It takes a lot of reflexes and mastery. Like, I know that it looks real fun. Like, when you're watching videos, it looks real cool and easy. But I remember playing that and thinking it was actually pretty hard. I never got good, and it was certainly something that my friends, really practiced at, and it took some skill.
It's a skill, but it's also that flow state. I've actually talked about that recently. Like,
when you internalize those moves, man.
Yeah, you just go boom, boom. And so with my time with it over, the last 4 days, that's interesting when I say that. Few or 4 days. Never said that. That's kind of cool. After the last few or 4 days, which is I guess is 3 or 4 days, it started coming back to me, and I was having these incredible chains, and I love the level design. Like, so much level design in these first 2 games is really interesting, and the weird areas you can break apart and get into. Remember that? Like a lot of secrets and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
So everything's in the right place. Everything looks better. The lighting is really cool. Some levels even just feel like they are a whole new thing because the graphics are so much better. And then they also have, so if you're a purist and you just want to go play the games and wait for things to unlock, because just like the first 2 games, you had to unlock certain things to get to different areas, they have that. But they also have all the, unlockable stuff from the modern era, right? You want to do these challenges, daily challenges, monthly challenges, second challenges, unlock boards, unlock things, unlock emotes, whatever. All that shit's there. So you can kind of play two different ways. You can kind of go in for some multiplayer, go and just unlock a bunch of shit, really kind of like grind like for stuff that you want to get. Or you can just play it like the old school games and not even touch any of that stuff, which I think is great that they put both those in there. And also they have that Create Skater thing. So you can obviously, I made a version of myself. It's not very deep when it comes to customization, but it is always fun to put stats in your skater, and that's there too. So yeah, I mean, a short review. I love it. It's great. I forgot that I'm not awesome at it and I have to like get better. But also for old school people, you got to use the digital pad because it has like the default controls is analog, which was in 5, and I kind of got used to in 5. And I was like, okay, I guess I can make my Tony Hawk modern, but no, fuck that shit. When it goes back to the old school stuff, you got to go D-pad.
That is the way that everybody I know who is really good at that game plays it on the D-pad for sure.
Yeah, so it helps with the kick flips and all that stuff. So I went back to D-pad. It's great. It's so relaxing. It's like that and Descenders is my nice, like, I want to chill out and play.
You are neck deep in extreme sports right now, buddy.
Yeah, dude, and I'm loving it.
Man, speaking of current events, real life reflected in games, I don't know that this is correct or not, but somebody in my Twitter feed, like literally just a half an hour before we recorded this, posted a picture of Tony Hawk, the game that you're playing right now, and they said that in I guess there's like a schoolyard area, or you skate near a school or something, and they were saying that the school in the game is actually closed because of COVID. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I forgot to talk about that. And there's also a mask you can unlock
for
your character.
Little COVID mask, dude. Okay, yeah. Man. Ugh.
Although
reality.
You know what they should have done though, because masks again have been around forever. Like again, we talked about it one of these episodes where Japan had all these very stylish masks.
Oh sure, all of Asia, absolutely.
It was really cool. And so like I feel like they should definitely. I don't know if they do, but like it's a surgical mask, and I'm like, give me some style, you know?
Yeah. Well, maybe they DLC add-ons coming up. Maybe have all sorts of customizable masks. Maybe create your own mask. Who knows, man?
Yeah, that's true.
All right, cool. Sounds like it, man. We are just we're playing a lot of good games on this show. Everything we've talked about has been good so far. I'm about to break that streak, though. We're done with that streak.
Okay, because I thought you'd do it for us.
Of course, it would be me. Who else would it be? All right, so I got a couple things to highlight. Really, I've only got one bad thing to talk about this show, and I'm going to talk about it right now. It is the new DLC for Control called AWE, A-W-E. I'm playing the DLC right now, provided to me by the publisher for purposes of this podcast and for review, so full disclosure on that. Control was my game of the year when it came out. I loved Control a lot, and I had a great time with it when it came out. I played the last DLC called The Foundation. It was okay, pretty good. Like, it took main character Jesse Faden to a new part of the building we had never seen before. Gave her a couple brand new powers, so that was kind of interesting to get through. I thought that was a pretty good time. And I'm like, yeah, of course I want to play some more Control. Control is great. And then the monkey's paw curled because Control AWE is not great. So basically, I mean, this is not a spoiler to say because this has been in all the PR materials. The big hook for this DLC is that they are reintroducing Alan Wake from 10 years ago, Remedy's previous game. And Remedy wants to make all of their games now a connected universe. So they want to have Alan Wake in the same universe as Control, I guess, as the same universe as that one they did with the time travel. What is that one they made the TV show with? You played it, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, Quantum Break?
Quantum Break? Yeah, I think that's in the same universe. And they haven't mentioned Max Payne, but I guess it wouldn't surprise me if Max Payne showed up and they were all in the same universe somehow. That seems to be the real reason why they put this content out, because honestly, the content itself is boring. It's really boring. They reuse a lot of assets from the main game, so you're not in a brand new environment. It feels like they cut and pasted a lot of stuff from the main game, which I was like, man, why are you guys doing this? This is not great. I was hoping that they would like get crazier because the setting of Control is very conducive to having all sorts of different environments. It's a fantasy setting. There's dimensional rifts and you can go to different places. So it's very easy for them to justify, oh, we're going to go to this brand new area and it looks totally different than what you did before, which is kind of what I was hoping they would do. But no, you're trapped in the same gray hallways and you're fighting the same orange floaty dudes that shoot at you. They ramped up the difficulty a little bit, which I'm not really like a super fan of, and it just feels like I'm just playing the same stuff that I was done with. Now, that may sound weird because I said Control is my game of the year when it came out, and it was, but that was like a year ago, like literally a year ago. And I have played probably 200 games at least since then, and I've moved on, and I had a good time with Control. I loved it. But, you know, when you put out a DLC, like a year after your game comes out, I would hope that it's like super exciting, something different, like something to really get the fans excited. And it feels like a cut and paste, more of the same. But hey, you want to play this to see how we included Alan Wake in it. And to be, you know, full disclosure, I don't give a fuck about Alan Wake. Like, I didn't really like that game that much the first time. Alan Wake himself is a douchebag character. He is the biggest dick in gaming. And I'm just not that excited about it. So I was hoping that playing the game would be interesting and different and give a new experience. There's a little bit of like darkness that comes in because if anybody who has played Alan Wake remembers, I mean, his whole thing was the dark, and so he had a flashlight. The flashlight canceled out the darkness. A lot of the guys you fought, you had to hit them with your flashlight first before you could actually kill them. So they do mirror a little bit of that in this content. Like Jessie gets, she can pick up some flashlights and then, you know, disintegrate some dark. There are some rooms that are really dark that hurt your health. Yeah. And then you turn on the lights. I mean, it's you know, okay, I get it. Like, it's a pretty simple concept. It's not really that exciting, and I mean, I gotta be honest, man. I'm really bored. Like, it's only maybe about 4 hours long, and I'm about halfway through it, and I just don't want to keep going because it's just not interesting to play, and it's not fun, and I'm just not having a good time. So
it's a weird choice. I mean, now that you're talking about it, you know, I'm wondering if they did it last minute or were they always planning to do this? I don't know.
I mean, I honestly can't tell you. I have no idea. But it's like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, coming back to a year. Coming back to a game after you've been away from it for like a year or whenever the last DLC was. Like, I forgot the controls. I didn't remember who the character was.
Pun intended.
Yeah, I know, right? I know, pun intended. I didn't know who the characters were. And like, Alan Wake was literally, not even exaggerating, literally a decade ago, dude. Like, I remember it, but it's like, it wasn't great then. Yeah. And it's not like I've been burning for more Alan Wake for 10 fucking years. It's like, if he had popped up as like a side character, I would have been like, oh, cool, how interesting. But like, to have that be kind of the focus of this DLC, and then to have the DLC feel like it's a bunch of cut and pasted material from the main campaign, it feels really cheap and like a cash in, and it doesn't feel. I mean, and people were dogging the last DLC, saying it wasn't different enough and it wasn't like cool enough. But I feel like the last DLC actually offered a much better experience than this one did, and I like the earlier one better. So
yeah, I think what the real issue there is like the cut and paste of like the levels and the fact that you haven't like gone anywhere different. And like you said, I loved Control, and it was on my, you know, games of the year that year, and it did get bizarre as fuck. You know, like, we had the maze and we had these crazy moments in it that were just so surreal. And so remember that one, the janitor, that whole moment with the janitor?
Sure, yeah. You go to like the janitor's vacation. Yeah,
and you're like, this is really the same game. So yeah, for me, I would like to keep it in the world and not touch the Alan Wake stuff, because I actually will disagree, and I liked Alan Wake, and I didn't have a big problem with the character. And again, when it came out, it was for me like a whole, like I don't want to say revelation, but it really felt cool at the time it came out. I was like, what is this game? And it really did feel like Twin Peaks, which I'm a big Twin Peaks fan.
Oh, for sure.
So
definite notes.
It had enough for me to be like, this is a weird, mysterious game. I like it. You know, I didn't really wasn't in love with the controls of this like light and darkness thing. It just was, I just kind of went with it. And but for me, I liked Control so much, and the world they built, I didn't really want. A nod was fine to Alan Wake or Quantum Break or whatever, but I didn't want them to go in that direction. So anyway, I mean, you just saying that, I was already out anyhow, because if you have listened to my rants about this, is that my actual game is still stuck at the ending of Control because I can't beat that fucking last section.
That's right. Yeah. It gets really tough at the
end. And every time I go back, I'm worse at it because it's been so long. So I'm like, I can never do this. And I think I talked to you about it on the show, I watched the ending on YouTube, and I never do that. So I can't go back, I don't think.
Well, you know, interestingly, I was just flipping through the review guide material that PR had sent me earlier, and I didn't keep it open. I don't have the window open anymore. I can't dig for it now. But I did see in there somewhere they were mentioning that there was going to be an easier mode, like an assist mode, that was going to be added to the game. I don't know if that would convince you to go back and finish it off. I mean, especially if you've already watched the ending on YouTube. But it does sound like they have heard those complaints, and I don't know if that mode is already in or maybe it's coming soon.
I need to know that. Can you Google that? Well,
I will Google it when I turn it back over to you for the Avengers.
Okay.
I will.
Before the end of the show, we can tell the listeners, because if that's on, then I'm interested because
I will find it.
Because I want to play the DLC that you played that you did like, which is the one before this one.
Yeah, the Foundation I thought was good, and it's weird to me because people were dogging it pretty hard, and I thought it was actually pretty good. And I know a lot of people were excited for this Alan Wake one, and I'm like, this is the bad one. Like, this feels like repeat, cut and paste, phoned in. I don't really care for this one, whereas I thought the Foundation was good. And don't get me wrong, like, I think Control is still an awesome game. I just kind of expected more from this DLC, especially like a year later. It seems like they could have done, for me anyway, something more interesting that would have been better to go. August 27th, assist mode, so it should be already out.
Oh shit! Why'd you tell me that? Gosh, damn it!
There you go. It says it lets the player adjust damage amounts and one-shot kills to make the game easier to play, and easier to play is in bold. So that
they
assist
heard
mode
the same thing. Yeah,
they heard. Yes, a lot of people complained about that section that you were at. A lot of people said it got too hard, needlessly hard at the end. So assist mode is there apparently, according to this review guide.
Motherfuckers.
So I give AWE kind of a side eye. Like, I don't really think it's that good, but I did like Control a lot. Still recommend Control. I did like the Foundation, and I would be open for like a Control 2 or something, but this particular piece of DLC feels like it's kind of phoned in.
Okay, well, you know what? I'll give the alternative opinion because I haven't played it yet, and I've just piled on the bandwagon, and I was like, yeah, why did they do that? But I haven't even played it. So now you told me that, son of a bitch, not like I have enough games to play. I will re-download Control, and I will put that easy assist mode on. I'll beat it.
Yeah, check it out.
And I'll see. We'll revisit that. Control's not done. We're not done with the Control.
We're not done with Control. We're coming back to Control. All right, cool. We are actually done with it for this show, though.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next section. A game that I think that maybe you were playing, but also I had been planning to bring to the show. We talked about this a while ago. I think it was from Gamescom. Struggling.
Yep.
You highlighted that like 1 or 2 episodes ago, right?
Yeah. I was like, I want to check this out. And then you did, and I also did, so now we can talk about it.
Yeah, so I bought this game. It is a 2D physics-based game where you play a deformed blob, which is basically like 2 heads that are fused together, and each head controls 1 arm. The arms are kind of slightly colored differently, so you can tell which arm is which one when you're moving around. It's kind of like a 2D Octodad where you control like the hand, but you don't necessarily control the arm, and so a lot of weird physics things can happen when you are like whipping your hands around and you're trying to grab things and move your body. Like, if you can imagine just a weird misshapen head with 2 arms sticking out of it, like you don't have a torso or legs, so everywhere you need to go you have to like whip an arm over and then grab with that arm and then get your other arm free and then whip that one around and then grab with that one and then pull yourself up, and then like every single thing you do in this game, I mean, they laid out on Front Street for it, is a struggle because it's very difficult to do anything in this game. So I jumped into this a while ago, like I think the day that it dropped, I bought it, and I gotta say, I love the character design of the misshapen head. Something about it, I think, is just so weird and gross and appealing. I just kind of fell in love with it like immediately. I like the visuals of the game. They're slightly cartoony, a little bit exaggerated, but it's all got this weird, like, everything has like growths on it and like bio stuff.
Everything's gross.
Yeah, everything is pretty gross, but in a good way. I think it's pretty good. And I've been playing this game. It reminds me a lot of Trials HD in a way, which you might not think would be the parallel, but going through these puzzles, the developers are not the nicest people in the world. I mean, maybe they're nice people in general, but in this game, they are a little bit on the sadistic side.
Yeah.
Where they have set up some challenges, which, I mean, I think the one that took me the most was, it took me maybe 75 tries to get through, and I kept doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it, but oddly, I didn't get mad, right? And I could tell that I was in the same zone that my brain goes to when I play Trials HD. And, for people who don't know Trials HD, that is the extreme dirt bike game where it's hyper physics based, where they have you doing things which look absolutely impossible. But if you master the controls and you understand how to shift the weight of the bike around, you can do these ridiculous jumps and climbing vertical surfaces and doing all these ridiculous drop down a ramp and land on your front tire and bounce and spin and land on this other thing. It seems like it's all bullshit, but if you are good enough, you can do it. And I love that game, even though it's phenomenally difficult. And I find that Struggling is phenomenally difficult as well. Not as hard as Trials. Because Trials is
not as hard as Trials. You are insane.
No, I think Trials is definitely harder. Trials HD.
We disagree there, but continue.
All right, yeah, but they're in the same ballpark. I would put them in the same basket. But I gotta say, I really have been liking Struggling a lot. Even though it's hard, even though it's frustrating, even though sometimes I would kill for a checkpoint that was just a little bit closer together. I really like this game a lot. I'm determined to finish it. I've been putting in time every night since it released, and I've made some pretty good progress. So far, if you are masochistic in the way that I am describing, like if you like Trials HD, if you like the physics, if you like a challenge where it's going to take you 50 tries just to get up a fucking ladder, I mean, if you're okay with stuff like that, and I'm definitely okay with that, I like this game a lot. Now, Carlos, I would not have predicted this to be your jam. What do you make of struggling?
Oh boy, yeah. I mean, it's exactly what we just said. Like, if you like Dark Souls games,
this is the Dark Souls of deformed heads.
Well, it's a Dark Souls Octodad, right? It's 2D Octodad, but with just 2 arms. That's how I describe it.
Yes, exactly.
And I had more fun with Octodad because it was 3D, and it gave me more chances to succeed, I think.
Agreed.
Right, because you could fall all over the place, but you're kind of falling forward, and in 2D. Struggling, if you don't do something right, you're not going forward. You're not going anywhere. You're actually just sitting on the ground because you're a fucking head. And by the way, this is my only game of the show that I don't like. You have a button where you can just talk. What does that do? Anything?
It just makes you laugh. That's all it does.
Okay, nothing's funny. He needs to stop laughing. And I kept hitting that button, like hoping it would change, like motherfucker. Like it should be him swearing.
Yeah, it should be.
Because he's like, he can't even fucking do one thing right. And I can't do the one thing right, so I'm really talking about myself. This game and my brain don't mix. Like, my brain goes, I don't get it, Carlos. And I was like, hey, brain, we've done puzzles before. You remember we done those really hard puzzles and Sudoku and fucking Picross and put those numbers together, and we've done video games. And the brain goes, no, Carlos, we're going to bed. This is fucking over. And I was actually, it didn't help that I was like sleepy at the time. And, sure. And I was like, I'm going to try this before bed. No, fuck this game for me. Like, if you like it, that's cool. More power to you. You also like Dark Souls, and I say fuck Dark Souls. We all know that. But I, again, just like you, have limited time, busy lives, and also things in games that make me feel bad about myself and that I can't do. Are not anything I want to have to do with at all. I want to feel empowered. I want to feel like I leveled up.
This is mega disempowering the game.
It's disempowering the game, but also I like you said, I do like the character art. I like some of the funny comedy they do. Like there's at some point there's these scientists who are dancing in like a dance party, and there's just a microphone like along the area where you're trying to do like the puzzle, but like there's no reason for the microphone, but your little guy picks it up at some point, and it's so pathetic because he can't do anything with the microphone. So I just threw the microphone down a hole somewhere. I was like, fuck that microphone. And the comedy comes from like physics there, so I'll give that like a couple of points, which is like, yeah, this is kind of an interesting world that they're building, and because of the dumb physics and because of your really limited controls, some funny things can happen where you fall into something and smash something. So that's there, but it's just too few and far between for me because I literally have a hard time walking. Like
dude.
Like you're supposed to like figure it out at some point maybe and get a little bit better at the movement, but because they keep rolling your body because you have no body, there's no your arm, your left arm is your right arm, then your right arm is your left arm.
Yep.
So that's the biggest problem is that if it was just like the right trigger was always the thing you looking at for your right side, it's not, because you keep rolling it flips it. So I had to say fuck this game and I'll never go back to it. And I can see some people enjoying it, but I don't know, man. It's definitely not for me.
It's funny that you even picked this game up because I was actually really surprised that you were interested in this one because this game, I actually love this game. I hate it, but I also love it. Yeah. I mean, it is, but like I think the contrast is that with Octodad, like exactly like you said, 3D, so it was a little bit more generous, and also like fewer penalties in Octodad. Like a lot of it you can just fuck up and nothing really bad happened. But in this game, like it's about making progress, and so if you can't do the moves, like you said, you're literally not moving forward. You're not doing anything.
You're stuck.
You die all the time. There's all sorts of spikes. There's all sorts of like pitfalls. There's all sorts of dangerous things that you can get killed by. So like the proposition for getting through this game is much more difficult, much more stringent, much more punishing than Octodad, even though it's got the same kind of basic goofy physics things. But I gotta say, I really do love it, and that's the the hard-headed, like, I'm going to take on this challenge because I find it personally appealing. I mean, that's what got me through Trials HD. That's what got me through some of the Souls games. That's what got me through, any difficult game that comes along that I click with. Gun Valkyrie or some shit like that back in the day. But I actually really do love this game. I am determined to finish it, and I got really, really far. Like, I almost thought I was going to beat the game last night, and they surprised me with another level after that, and I'm like, okay, I would have been okay if this game had ended, but I'm going to keep going because I really want to finish it. But it is actually really funny. I mean, you go through, and there's lots of little touches. There's obvious nods, and it's funny that I bring up the Trials HD thing, because at one point you do get a dirt bike. And so you're on the dirt bike with your two arms and your head, and you have to balance your weight between the front and rear axle, which is really nuts. Some of the boss battles, one boss battle turns out to be like you lose your arms and you play pinball with your body, which is really funny. One of the boss battles, I shit you not, is a dating simulator. You get to the dating simulator, you have to answer questions about romance and like talk to this other thing about who you think your best match is. And the level that I'm at right now, I have to put myself inside a unicorn's butthole, and I get exploded out with like a shower of a rainbow shooting out of his ass. So like, there's comedy in this game. Like, these guys have a sense of humor for sure. But they also have that mean streak, because there's definitely a few parts where I'm like, if you were here right now, I would punch you in the face for making this, because this is like one notch too hard. You should have dialed this back, and it's making me really angry. But then I keep going, and I've almost quit this a couple times, but then I'm like, no, I can't quit. I'm going to keep going. And then I make it, and then I'm really happy. Right. But I wouldn't mind if this game was like maybe 3 degrees easier. Like, it doesn't need to be as hard as it is. I think it would be just as fun and just as enjoyable if it was easier. I don't think the difficulty is what's selling me. I think just the goofiness, the weird things that pop up, the humor, and just the way it plays is really fun. So if it was easier, I'd be totally fine with that. Right. But I am definitely going to do my best to finish this.
That's what I saw. The things you just mentioned, I saw that like in a trailer probably, and that's why I picked it up. You go, why would you pick it up? Because it looked fun and interesting and funny, comedy, weird shit. Like, I saw the pinball thing. I think I saw the unicorn, and then you put that in your trailer and you put that out there, people want to get to that content. So it actually brings up a tangent, which we don't have to go too far down, but
go for it.
With the whole hard game thing and get good thing, which we talked about a lot, if you're going to really spend some time on the comedy there and like plan a riding a bicycle segment and a unicorn shitting you out with rainbows, if we've mentioned this before, like if you want your player to get there, then help them get there. Like, don't only handcuff them and say like, okay, if you have to be really, really fucking good. Now I know that's the same thing with Dark Souls, but I guess you just limit your audience by doing that, and that might be fine. Maybe they're fine with that. But for me, like, I'm out. Like, I won't ever try to get to the places you're talking about. I'll just like hear about them from you.
So. I mean, I can't disagree with you, dude. I think this game actually has a lot to offer. I think the art is great. I think the humor is great. I think the concept is great. I mean, so many, like, when you get to the funny parts, I'm like when I got to the dating simulator, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe there's a fucking dating simulator game. This is amazing. Like, this is so fun. But, like, I had to get through, like, 2 hours of, like, gritting my teeth and being really angry to get there. And I don't think that's really the selling point of this game. I mean, for me, personally, like, I am hard-headed enough to get through it and do it. But I can easily see a million people bouncing off of this. And there's even a 2-player mode where you can control one arm and a friend can control the other arm. And at first, before I started this game, I was like, I talked to my wife, like, oh, yeah, we should play this co-op. And then I played the first level to see what it was like. And I'm like, nope, we're not playing this co-op because we will kill each other if we play this game. Right. So I wish it was easier. I honestly do, but I still like it.
I'll also say this, though, because I was trying to bite my tongue, but I was doing a bad job of it while you were talking about Trials, because I think Trials is different than both things you're talking about when it comes to Souls games or this game, because Trials has physics in it, which are a little random, and you can beat levels in that multiple ways. Similar to, like, a Lonely Mountains Downhill. Like, I beat those, like, really, really, really fucked up hard levels, like, not the way they probably intended. Lots of times I like bunny hopped or fell down up, sideways, and then like landed somehow and balanced myself. So I think that's a little different, because I feel like Souls, you have to do things certain ways. Struggling, seems like you have to do things certain ways. You're not gonna fucking win. And in Trials, I think I like fudged my way through some of it. You know what I mean?
Very possible. I mean, I think I make the Trials comparison just like knowing when you get to like the end game of Trials, where like you can get through, like anybody can get through the first half of the game, because it's like big ramps and big jumps, and it's all scary and exciting, and it's pretty easy to get through. But when you get to like the final levels, where it's like you have to do the perfect bunny hop off of this log, and you have to land on your front tire. You have to
there
hop
is stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to get through the last 2 hops, and then you have to do a backflip, and then you get on this ramp that's only like an inch long, and you have to balance your weight. Like, there's some bananas hard stuff when you get to like end game in Trials, and that's really what I was thinking of. Or you just have to like some of those Trials levels, dude. I think I've played some of those tracks like 500 or 600 times before I finished them.
You're right. Now that you just brought back PTSD for me, because like there's this one where you have to go in an S formation. So you have to like go like forward, but then also backwards, but then also like kind of a wheelie, and then back to an S again.
Yep.
And it took me so long to figure out that I had to go in an S, because I was like, no, you go left to right, you know? So you're right. So some of that is fucked up. Never mind. I retract my statement. And also fuck all those games then.
I mean, I think your statement is largely correct. The part of my brain that says, yes, I will try this level 600 times is the same part that is activated when I'm playing Struggling, and I'm like, I will do this staircase 75 times in a row because I feel like I can get it eventually, and that's the part that is activated. So that if you have that part of the brain, you might like this game. If you don't, stay the fuck away from this game, because it is not a nice game, even though I really do like it. So,
and by the way, the intro story, because I was already falling asleep, I did not understand what was going on in the intro story. Yes. It went way too long. I was like, what is happening?
You are 100% correct. All that happened was this brain, or this head with 2 arms, all it needed to do was bust out of a jar in a lab. That's the only story it needed.
It just needed to come out and go like, I'm here.
That's exactly it. That's all it needed to do. But did they do that?
No.
They did like some kind of weird, like, back in the Roman times, there was these race of abomination guys, and they were blessed by the gods, and they were heroes, and they brought fire to the people, and then they were warriors, and I'm like, what is even happening right now?
I thought I was playing the wrong game. I was like, what's happening?
I was very confused. You don't need that. All you need is him busting out of a jar. That's all you need. I don't know why they did
that. What's up? He just has to say, what's up? What's up?
That would be amazing. That is not what happened. That would be a better opening. So anyway, okay. Enough of that.
Moving on.
Struggling. You like it, you hate it, it's there, whichever way you swing. I don't know. Find out for yourself. Let us know. Carlos, Avengers. I have not played this because I was really turned off of the beta, but it's out. People are telling me that it's actually pretty good when you play the campaign. The beta gave people a bad impression. Is that true? What do you think of Avengers?
Yeah, I played the beta as well, and I think I was just like, meh. It didn't feel like anything great. I think everybody and their mother has already played that bridge scene. So that was like in old demos. That was like, it's the beginning of this game, and I didn't want to go through that again, but I had to, which essentially is the Avengers saving everybody because a bridge is collapsing, and you have to get to play as all the characters and try them out. And I remember that was in the beta, and then I played the beta for a little while longer, and some of the campaign was in there, but it ended pretty quickly. And so I didn't really have a either way feeling about it. I was just like, it's interesting. It's what they showed us. But this allows you to actually really learn the story about Kamala Khan, who is a great character. And I'm very happy to say that the single player campaign is almost fantastic. It's like very, very good. There are a couple things near the end of it, which is where I'm at right now, the end of the campaign, that get laborious and kind of introduce you to the elements that you're going to be playing in the, in quotes, main game. So, but in the beginning, I would say the first 3/4 of this single player campaign is excellent. And for my money, would be fine with just playing that. Like if they gave me what was the Last of Us or Uncharted like side story, remember?
Oh yeah, with the two women characters.
Yeah.
Lost Legacy or something.
Lost Legacy, something like that. All those like short 6-hour adventures in the same world, etc. of the main game. That's what this could be, and I would be totally fine paying $20. Give me Marvel Avengers game. Let's just call it Kamala Khan and Miss Marvel, right? Single player game. If they would have done that, which they kind of, I guess, did, it's very good. It's a 12 to 15 hour campaign. I'm coming up about 10 hours right now in it, and it's excellent. So Kamala Khan, if you're not aware, Pakistani American from New Jersey. She has shape-shifting abilities, and she's Miss Marvel in the comic world of Marvel. And they basically show her like origin story, and you feel for her, you understand her world. It does a really good job of representation, showing Pakistani and her heritage, and just like her world, like what it looks like to be her in this, small apartment and trying to, make her dad happy. And you feel really like connected to this character really quickly. And then they go through a whole moment that I won't spoil about where the Avengers go into hiding, and you've got to figure out what happened. And you, just, young Kamala Khan, just figuring out her powers and can't believe that she's even involved with the Avengers, has to help save the day. And yeah, it's great. I mean, there's so many cool moments with like, the Hulk or Bruce Banner talking with her. I originally didn't like that it's what's his butt again.
Who's that?
The voice actor who's in everything now.
Oh, not Nolan North, but the other guy.
Oh my goodness, how can we not know his name?
I know who you're talking about.
No,
Baker, Troy Baker.
Troy Baker, right? So initially, I think I was telling you, I just hear Troy Baker because it's his voice, but he plays it really subdued, and then at some point you kind of like let go of that and you just kind of go with the character. So yeah, you follow her and her adventures of kind of. I don't really want to spoil it. Just have a good time with it. But she's like learning about where the Avengers went and trying to figure out how to save the day, learning her powers. And her powers are really fun because she's basically like able to stretch her arms and, make her hand really huge and smash things. And it's just really, really fun to play her. And the combat itself, the biggest miss I would say is that the impact sounds aren't good, which is really weird when you're going to be hitting a million things in a game like this. And, like leveling up and going through waves of enemies. When you hit things, even if you're the Hulk, it's kind of a thud, like a boom. And I'm like, whoa, man, maybe like spend some time on the hitting sound, because you're going to hit like 1,000 million things.
Sure.
So when you start doing combat in the game, you just go like, wow, that's a little weird that it's like so... It doesn't really feel like impactful. But other than that, yeah, the single player is great. And like I said, near the end of the single player, it starts opening up all these things that you're going to experience in this online experience of a game, which is upgrading your parts, upgrading all your, gear, finding loot boxes everywhere. Not true loot boxes, you're not paying for anything, but just finding little boxes that have, upgrades, etc. And so you start doing that more. Then you start seeing daily challenges start popping up and faction challenges. And I didn't want those, because I wanted to finish the story. Because
let's dial it back. I have so many questions right now. Before we get deeper in this, I got to pick your brain a little bit because when this game started coming out, they were doing a big PR push about, there's loot boxes and there's going to be missions, and they were kind of playing it up like this is going to be the game you're going to be playing for the next 10 years. Doing like one of those Destiny things where like, oh, this is a forever game, you're going to get into this, which honestly was a big turnoff for me. I was expecting it to be an 8-hour weekender where you just like play a really cinematic campaign, you have a good time, then you forget about it, move on, which is kind of what it sounds like you described with the Kamala Khan portion. So I guess just to just dial back a little bit, so when you begin this game, I mean, the gameplay is just what, like kind of a beat 'em up? I mean, that seems like what it is from the beta, just like you're punching a lot of goons, right?
It's third person, action melee, and then some range stuff thrown in.
Okay, so that's the basic combat. You play most of the campaign as Kamala Khan, is that also correct?
No. So you actually
you don't? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, okay, so I would say most might be correct, but you do have to jump in and play as other characters as they get introduced.
Oh,
so
okay.
I probably should have mentioned that at in the beginning. But like when you meet Bruce Banner, you meet the Hulk, you've got to play as him in the beginning of when you meet him.
Okay.
And so the same thing happens with all the characters, and that's why essentially you can't jump into the online experience. You shouldn't until you beat this game, because that essentially shows the backstory for all the characters and why they're here. So when I went over before this review, which is why we'll definitely talk about this game again, I was going to go just check out the online experience. But it said you might not want to because there's spoilers in here. And me really enjoying this, like you said, not 8 hours, but about 12 hours campaign, I didn't want the spoilers.
Sure,
so,
I wouldn't either, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to finish it, maybe even tonight, definitely probably over this break. And yeah, to your point, like you play as other characters, but you always go back to Kamala because it's really her story.
Well, I guess I'm confused then. So, if it had been pitched as a 12-hour narrative cinematic, action game, I love those kind of games. Those are fine. Like that sounds like a weekend of fun. You're done. But then they also have this whole pitch about like the online stuff, the persistent stuff, the loot, the leveling up, and all this other stuff. And that little part that I saw from the beta didn't look great. And I guess I'm just confused about how those two things come together. So when you get to that part and they start doing the challenges, I mean, are you just replaying campaign missions? Are they separate like side missions? Like, what are you even doing when they want you to do the loot sections?
Well, that's what I was trying to get to now, and this is a good segue for it. So, yeah, about 3/4 of the way in, or maybe even halfway in, you start noticing like them. It's very secretive, or very sly, I should say. I think it's like a Candy Crush thing or something, where they start showing like, oh, enemies have shields now, right? Oh, okay. Oh, enemies can teleport in. It doesn't matter if they're, forget the story we're in. They just teleported a bunch of new enemies in, so you have to fight them now. And that's the part of course I don't like, right? I don't want to be in this kind of MMO persistent world, PvP world right now, because I want to finish this fucking story. But I understand why they're doing it, because they're saying like, hey, when you're done with this, don't be surprised. This is how the real world's going to be, which is like enemies with shields. There's another level of shields, which is like cryo shields, and you have to break that shield before you can actually hurt the guy. And they're doing that because obviously it's part of this monetization, I think.
It sounds horrible, dude.
Right. Okay, hold on. Let me bring you back in, though.
All right.
All that stuff's there, and it shows up, but it's not too hard because, again, you're leveling up your character this whole time, too. So, yes, I'm very frustrated that none of the leveling up shows on your character. It's fucking dumb.
There's no cosmetic stuff, right? Yeah. If you get a new piece of gear, it doesn't show. You look the same.
And we talked about in the demo. It's all over the online, right? That's the number one thing people are hating on. They'll have to address it at some point. You can't just pay for the stuff. That's stupid. Now, what they did do is they made unlockable stuff for your character to look differently based on challenges. So if you go back into the Harm, which is the like holograph simulator thing, you can do a bunch of like different missions in there, and if you beat those, you get a new costume. But it's still too grindy for me. So I'm like, no, that's fine. I'm not going to do any of that. So you do level up your character. You do feel strong. About 3/4 of the way, more and more boxes show up. More and more things like that would be in the online world show up. But you don't have to do them. The only things you have to do are the campaign things. And so they just kind of put them alongside the story, right? Because just now I got to a new base, right? And in the base, there was 18 motherfucking things I could do. And I was like, oh, shit.
Like side quests, you mean?
Yeah. They were like, hey, come over here, Kamala. Come over here. Oh, actually, go to the war table. You can open up 18 new missions and, unlockables and upgrades. And I was like, everybody calm the fuck down. Show me where the mission is. And so I just told everybody to shut the fuck up, and I went and did the mission. So, and they didn't make me under-leveled. I felt like it was challenging, but I feel like I was getting to the level that I needed to be for the challenge. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, yes, I don't know if, like, near the very end, they're going to go, well, you got to grind first, and that will suck balls. So hopefully they don't do that. But if they don't do that, then I think what they're doing is they're just introducing everything alongside it to be like, okay, now when you hit the button to go into this game, you know what the fuck's going on.
It just doesn't seem like those two styles of gameplay go together. And I just, I haven't played it yet other than the beta, so I can't really speak with authority on this. But, I mean, what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing from you and from what I'm seeing a lot of in my Twitter feed is people saying, I really dig the campaign, Kamala's cool, I like this, but I have no interest in the other stuff. And the other stuff really seems to be like what Square Enix is pushing, where they really want you to, grind and make this a daily habit, and you're going to play this for the next 10 years, you're going to be leveling up and doing all these things. I just wonder if they're just trying to really force these two things to go together. This doesn't sound like chocolate and peanut butter. It sounds like chocolate and clam strips to me.
Oh, that's a very interesting and terrible sounding combination. But chocolate
two
and
things
peanut
that don't
butter,
go together, man. Maybe they're good on their own, but they don't go together.
Right. Chocolate and peanut butter is amazing, and now you made me want it. But I'll say this. In agreement with you, I think that I wrote this down in my notes. I said, since when did waves of enemy equal fun? Because essentially, if you want the character to grind or the person to grind and get some more XP to do something, you can do that in story-based missions. Right? Yeah. You can have them find this crate. You can find a maze. They can slide down this hole. You can fight this big monster at the end. But to have it be waves is absolute bullshit. And that's where it started feeling like, okay, to your point, like that does not mix with the story right now, because Kamala, herself would be like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I fighting? I didn't sign up for this, you know.
Right,
I signed up
killing 10,000 goons. That doesn't make sense. Yeah.
She's like, I signed up to save Captain America or like save the Hulk or whatever. I didn't sign up to fight a million cryo shielded motherfuckers. So, but then what they do is they hook you back in, because right now I just beat a in quotes boss, and it was this girl that I really, really didn't like in the story, and I wanted to get vengeance on. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Now I feel good about taking down this boss. But then they'll throw 100 waves of other bullshit. So they are mixing it together. And there is another game that does this. I'm trying to think of what it is now. That it was like the single player introduced you to the online world. Which was it? Oh,
I think several games do that, but I don't know specifically. I mean, I don't know. It seems like something like with Destiny, where I'm just not into Destiny, but I understand the structure of Destiny. I don't know that a lot of games can really pull that off, and I don't know that it really makes sense in a lot of games, especially something like this. Because I got to be honest with you, dude, I was getting bored with the beta, and I'm sure the beta is nothing compared to what you're doing in the campaign. But if there's a good story and it rolls along, that's great. But if I get to a point where I'm like, I got to kill 500 goons in order to level up to get to the next thing, I would probably be out at that point.
Right. And just, again, to make it a very clear point, I haven't had to level up yet at all. Okay, at all.
Not intentionally.
No.
Like you're not grinding, purposely grinding.
No, and I have not really done any side missions. I've mainly done, I think I only did one side mission, which is saying a lot, right? Because I made it to 3/4 of the way through the game.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I've done a couple like, I'll go over there like a Tomb Raider thing. I'll go and get a couple extra things. And I'm constantly like upgrading my non-existent stuff, you know? Your power level is what it is. And your different items you have levels. So I'm leveling. But it's not like I don't feel like I'm stuck yet, and that's why I'm afraid that the ending will be like, hey, you're not like level whatever. So I'll come back to you and we'll talk about it again, I'm sure. I will say this though, wow, I'm very impressed by the campaign. It was heartfelt moments. They brought up bullying, they brought up race, they brought up feeling like an outsider. It's really fucking good, man.
I've heard it's good. I've heard the campaign is where it's at, which is all the more confusing as to why they wanted to do this other stuff. But
yeah,
it seems like they really are underselling what they're doing right.
Yeah, you're right, and I think that it could be a standalone game. It kind of essentially is, and I'll report back to see if they fucked me at the end, where they made me care about this character in the story, and then they were like grind something. So, and then again, we'll do another review, or I will, on the actual world that opens up, because I haven't even went into that world, right? Like, what does that look like? I don't know. Before I leave this preview review, I'll say one thing they missed big time, besides the impact sounds, is you collect comics in this game, but you don't get to read them.
You just collect like the covers or whatever?
Yeah, fuck you. Yeah. What the fuck? This is like a Marvel. You want me to feel like in this world? Kamala loves Marvel. Like, she would love to read the books. It would get you more interested in the lore. What the fuck are they doing?
Maybe there would be like a DLC where you get like a Comixology subscription or something. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. So, okay, my mini preview review is that I actually really fucking like it. And I'm slightly turned off by the shields and the waves of enemies that are starting to show up now. And so I'm like, okay, what's this going to do? Is this going to get really, really hard? And if so, I'll be so disappointed. And before I leave this, I will also say I love doing this. Is I watch a show and then I play a game that's similar, right? I do that a lot.
Sure.
I'm watching The Boys season 2 right now, and it's intense as fuck, and it is a perfect combination. So if you're out there right now thinking about jumping on for Avengers, watch some of The Boys show and then go play Avengers. It's a great combo.
All right, there we go. We will check back in with you on Avengers next week, I am sure.
Yep.
Right now, I'm going to close out the show with two other kind of quickies, I guess. First is a game that I am playing for review right now. It is currently under embargo, but by the time the show goes up, it'll no longer be under embargo, so I can talk about it. It is called Necromunda Underhive Wars. This is set in the Warhammer 40k universe, which everybody listens to the show. Yes, again. This is an amazing year for Warhammer. They have had more good games with that IP this year than any game in memory, because Necromunda, believe it or not, is another amazing, awesome game, which is a great use of the Warhammer IP. I don't know much about this particular setting, But basically, it takes place in a giant city, which is like a weird city that's piled on top of like the ruins of an older city, and then there's another city on top of that. There's just like layers of city in this giant big pile, and people live in it, like like scavenging and like gross, gruddy, kind of nasty Warhammer 40k stuff. Everybody's got like cybernetics implanted in them. Everybody's got a mohawk, and everybody's hungry and dirty.
A toaster for like a shoulder pad.
Exactly, that whole thing. So you're in this pile of cities, and what happens is there's some kind of like treasure at the bottom, blah blah blah. I'm not getting into the story, don't worry about it. But basically, it is a turn-based strategy tactics squad game where it's broken up into two different parts. There's the story campaign, which I'm doing now, which basically teaches you what you need to know to play the game. I'm not done with that yet, working my way through it. And then there's like another part where you can make your own team. I don't know exactly what you do if you go online or if there's other challenges. I haven't even touched that part yet. But what I've seen so far is amazing. The graphics are great. It's very like faithful to the images from Warhammer 40k. All of the people in it look like like little miniatures that you would get playing the tabletop. And the tactics are great. Now the twist to this game is because you're in this like city, this Underhive city with layers and layers and layers. These developers have really taken verticality as their watchword. So if you think of something like XCOM, where you're looking down on a grid, and maybe there's a building, maybe there's a roof or something, maybe there's a little bit of verticality, but basically you're looking at a flat map. Not so in this game. Like this game is like levels upon levels upon levels in each area, and there's ins and outs. Like there's a house, there's zip lines, there's like other buildings, there's rooftops, there's gutters, there's holes. So I find that my brain is being taxed in a way that is almost never taxed when I'm doing a strategy game, because I'm constantly thinking about how high is my gunner? Can they see below them? Like, where is my melee guy? Can he climb up this place in enough time to get this other person over here? And like, where are my guys in position to each other, and where are they in position comparison to the enemies? And like, they really embrace the verticality like in a huge major way, and I find that it makes the game feel very challenging in a good way and a very different way. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm playing XCOM. It doesn't feel like every other strategy game, because you can be on top of somebody and jump down on them. You can zip line up. You can zip line down. You can shoot guys. There's height advantage. There's all sorts of stuff that plays into being inside this big ruined city with all sorts of like little shantytown areas and like ruined stuff and pipes and machinery. Like, it all comes together really well, and I feel like they are really, really using the setting extremely well. I just have really been liking it a lot. The graphics look great. The team tactics are great. Every different character has their own little powers, just, like most strategy games do. And trying to figure out how those pieces fit together, in addition to the positioning of the verticality, really challenging. These levels take a while. I feel like each level has taken me at least half an hour or an hour, just like slowly moving my guys through and figuring out what's the best thing to do, good approaches to use. But it's great. Like, it's really, really great. This is like the third Warhammer 40k game I have played this year, which I think is like phenomenal. Like, we really liked Inquisitor was amazing. Yeah. I really liked the one that I just played a minute ago, which I am totally blanking on the name of. What was the name of Mechanicus? Mechanicus was really, really good. Yeah, Mechanicus was really, really good. And now Necromunda, really, really good. Like, I feel like maybe Warhammer has broken its streak, because they are famous for being hot and cold with their games, because they would license to just anybody, and a lot of stinkers out there. But man, they are just like on fire this year. Like, these are 3 really good games. So I will have more to talk about this one as I get further into it. I'm only about maybe halfway through the story campaign right now, but man, digging it. And if you are a tactics nut like I am, this is an amazing year to be a tactics fan. There have been so many good turn-based tactics games. It's nuts. They're everywhere you turn, there's another really, really good turn-based tactics game. Like, man, we are just spoiled this year.
Yeah, it's a comeback for tactics. You're right. And then also, would you say it's difficult as like a Desperados or whatever?
It is not as difficult as Desperados, but it is definitely difficult. Like, it is like one notch above XCOM, it feels like, because you just have so much more to consider. And I bet that once I get past the story missions where the training wheels are taken off, I bet it's going to get pretty hard. But right. I'm digging it so far. I really, really like it a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, in Wasteland 3, there is a little verticality as well. I forgot that. And like, even if you're at the top of a hill, you can't shoot down at somebody, like if you're too far away. Mm-hmm. And so you really have to think about like that a little bit as well. So yeah, I like that. I like that approach with turn-based, tactical, and then verticality. But if it's too hard, you know me. I'm
I
out.
mean, I'll let you know. I'll let you know because it hasn't been too hard so far, but I can see where it would get difficult. And like
Right.
you know, I'm definitely still in the training portion. So once they let me out on my own, we'll see how it goes. But so far, Necromunda Underhive Wars is awesome. I'm really liking it a lot. I like it very very much. Last game I'm going to mention. Last game for the show. Lair of the Clockwork God. I know we brought this up when we did our mid-year check-in. I haven't talked about this already, have I? Or have I?
I don't remember. I'm gonna look it up on Google. I forgot.
I
Lair.
don't think so. Lair of the Clockwork God, when we did our mid-year check-in, I put out a survey to all of our listeners and to the people who follow us on Twitter, and this one was the surprise entry. Like, a bunch of people picked this one as their favorite game of the year. I had never heard of it, like, up until, like, a month ago. And I was really caught by surprise, and I looked into it. It was PC only, so I didn't pay too much attention. But it is now on Switch, and I believe it is also on other platforms, and that was my in. Sent a code for this game for the purposes of discussion, so full disclosure there. So Lair of the Clockwork God is actually really, really good. I can totally understand why people pick it as their one of their favorites of the year. Very quality. I definitely recommend it. Basically, what it is a combination point and click adventure and platformer. But you have two characters when you're playing the game. One guy is the point and click guy, and he doesn't want to jump, doesn't want to collect anything. The other guy is the platforming guy who cannot solve puzzles, and he loves to jump a lot. So the two of them together work to solve whatever problems or puzzles get in their way. You can switch back and forth between the two guys either anytime you want to. And the levels are broken up. Like sometimes you go through a long platforming section, and then you just like it's just about reflexes and stuff, and that's pretty easy, pretty good. Then you'll get to like a puzzle section, so the platforming guy takes a break, the puzzle guy takes over, and you collect items, and it's like use item on other item to get another item, and it's pretty classic, adventure game point and click stuff. But the thing that really makes it good is that number one, the art is really cute, and also the writing is really funny. I've laughed out loud multiple times playing this game. I think it's sharp, a lot of good jokes, a lot of good repartee and banter, and it's just really, really well put together. You can tell that the guys who are making this game, I believe it's a small team of just one or two guys, if I'm not mistaken, you can tell that they know what they're doing. Like, there is a feeling to this game of where people who know how to make a game are making a game that they want to make, and they're doing it in the way that they want to make it. Like, I don't feel like they're struggling with this game. I don't feel like they have problems they couldn't solve. I don't feel like anything is patchwork here. I don't know if that's true. I mean, who knows what development's like. But the end result feels very confident, very polished. It feels like developers who are in their powers and they are using them in the way that they want to use them. So it is a very solid, very firm, confident, well put together feeling game. Writing is solid, graphics solid, puzzles are solid. I mean, it's good all the way through. I like it, but I will give you just a couple of not warnings, I guess, but just heads up. One, for me personally, Brad Galloway, I'm terrible at point and click games, dude. It is one of my worst genres. And
You mean like the combining two things together kind of thing?
yes, like use item on item, or sometimes like there are puzzles in this game which I think are really simple once I know what the answer is, but before I know what that answer is, I'm just like stumped. And I know that anybody else who's good at the adventure genre or the point and click genre would be like, "What are you doing, dumbass? Just do this and this. It's simple, it's obvious." And I'd be like, "Oh, okay." Like whatever is obvious to somebody who's good at this genre, like I am not that guy, and that is my personal weakness. So this is not a fault of the game. I think the game gives you clues. There's not been a ton of items, so I don't feel like I'm drowning in inventory. I mean, honestly, I feel like this is a pretty straightforward, simple point and click game, with the caveat being I am terrible at point and click games. It is a weakness of mine. I admit that it's not my best genre, so I'm struggling because my brain just doesn't work like that. So that's more about me than it is about the game. Just putting that out there.
Yeah. By the way, I'm in the same boat because there's so many great funny stories to be had in point and click, and I miss out on a lot of them because my brain doesn't work like that either. Just like it struggles with struggling, it struggles with this kind of thing too.
Yeah. So full disclosure, that's on me. I get frustrated with this game, and I know that a lot of people would not get stuck where I got stuck. I know a lot of people would not get frustrated. I know a lot of people would like breeze through these parts that I'm getting stuck at. I admit that. It's fine. We're not all the same people. We don't have the same skill sets. It's totally okay. I'm great at some games. This is a game I'm not great at. That's on me. The other thing that I would say is I'm playing the Switch port, and the people who made the game farmed this port out to another studio, and the people who are porting it to the Switch are fucking insane. It's like they have never touched or seen a Switch in their life, because the control setup is so batshit crazy and weird and unworkable. I don't even understand how a human being living in the world could have come up with the control scheme they came up with. It's really fucking weird. It's really uncomfortable. I actually tweeted the developer directly, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is up with this control scheme? This is ridiculous. And he's like, oh, well, we're not handling that. It's another team that's doing it. I'll let them know. And I'm like, dude, you got to patch this, like, ASAP, because this control scheme is shit. Like, it's awful. That is not going to be a problem on PC. That is probably not going to be a problem on any of the other platforms it's coming to. But on the Switch, it is really uncomfortable. It's really awkward. I actually hate the control system, like with a passion. It's no good. And like the developer was trying to give me some. His name is Dan. He was trying to give me some tips. He's like, oh, do this and this, and I'm like, I get it, dude. Like I get, like it doesn't work like that. This is not working for me. There's a lot of settings. Maybe I could tweak some more settings or something. I got to go back and see if I can make it work for me a little bit better. But I hate the control scheme. It is just, it doesn't have to be bad. It's aggressively bad, and I don't like it. But again, that is a problem with the Switch port specifically. Hopefully they're going to patch it out. But the game itself, I think, is great. I think it's really clever. I think it's cute. I've laughed a lot. I think it's fun. I can totally see a lot of people picking this as their like one of their top 10 games of the year, or game of the year even. I think it's really well done. I think it's a really quality product. I like it, even if I suck at it. I just don't like the Switch controls. Those are awful. Those are shit on fire. But the game itself, I think, is great. So I would definitely recommend it to people if you want to laugh, if you want a good point and click, if you like a genre blend between adventuring and platforming. It's a great game. It's a really great game. It's quality stuff.
Yeah, I'd say get it on Steam.
Get it on Steam. Get it on PC and avoid the Switch controls, because god damn it, those controls. But man, yeah, if you played this on PC, I would imagine you'd have no problem whatsoever.
When you mentioned it last, now that I looked at the graphics, it is a game that we mentioned on the show. And I wishlisted it or whatever, or maybe it was available. I put it in like sometimes I do that. I wishlist and then I go back and buy those things,
Yeah.
So I'll pick it up on Steam. I like comedy adventures, and lots of times the story and the comedy will push it along for me, even if I'm bad at the thing. So
it's funny, dude. Just get yourself an FAQ. It's worth it for the laughs. It's worth it for the writing, and get it on Steam. I think it's a genuinely good game. I really do like this game a lot. I do give it a recommendation. If you think you like adventuring, comedy, platforming, it's really well done. So good stuff.
Cool.
Maybe skip the Switch port because those controls suck, but PC should be no problem. And that is all I've got for the show. Carlos, anything final from you, sir?
This is the final thing. It's kind of an Iron Games field. Low energy.
Batteries running low on the radio.
Oh yeah, I actually did another podcast today too. So I am full disclosure, kaput. But I will say this, because especially I think you would like it. So I found a 2D Zelda-like tribute to Bloodborne, and it's called Yarntown.
Oh, where's it on? Like itch or something?
Yeah, an itch.io. The actual link we won't put in the show notes, but it's Maxatrillionator, Maxatrillionator, ATOR .itch.io.yarntown. But you can just Google Yarntown.
Yeah, just Google Yarntown. It comes right up. I mean, I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, and it is the coolest, like, side-scrolling, big boss, 2D Zelda-like Bloodborne game. And it's fucking free. And he said,
oh, it's free also. Excellent.
Yeah,
okay.
because he said he didn't want, it gets a tribute, it's
sure,
essentially
sure.
a Bloodborne type thing. And he said he's selling his assets that he made. So that's how he's going to try to make some money. He's going to sell some of the graphics from it. So go buy him, because, it's a long game and he really did a great job. And it's something that I could actually get behind, because the bosses are really difficult, but I'm much better in a 2D setting. There's been a couple other Dark Souls types games that are Bloodborne, like that are 2D, that I've actually given a shot and not been terrible at. Where I'm in 3D, I'm like shit at. So if you're like me, maybe give it a try. But also it's free, so I just wanted to mention it. Really cool.
Wow, good pick, dude. I bet a lot of people listening to the show will be very interested in that. It looks really cute. Like, the graphics are good, and I know a lot of people are Bloodborne fans out there. So good call, yep. Man. All right. That is it for the show, folks. Thank you very much for listening. Before we go, we do love to get questions and comments. Hit us up, sovideogamespodcast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter as a show at Videogames, but you can hit us up individually. Carlos, where do you want people to reach out to you this week?
I brought back my weekly podcast of all the things that I get into, which is called A Lot of Things. It's, you know me, I'm watching, playing, reading tons of things. Listen to the podcast. It's only about 15, 20 minutes each episode. It's every week, and it's on all the things you can find the podcast on. Just search for A Lot of Things podcast.
Excellent. And as usual, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. BradGallaway, all A's, no O's. And that is going to do it for episode 196. Thanks again for joining us here on the Video Games podcast. And we'll be back with more games before you know it. But in the meantime, this is bye from Brad.
And bye from Carlos. Fuck it. Just fuck it. That's it.